Yalasanga. So this is day 25. We've covered a lot of ground in the last few weeks, nearly 3.5 weeks, or just over 3.5 weeks. Today's practice is going to be simple. I'm going to introduce just an idea of tension and noticing tension and then letting it go. And then we're going to do a sort of general practice on the ground that you can use anytime. So this might be one that you want to come back to once the 31 days are over. It's only 31 days of yoga for this period of time that the yoga will continue. So let's start lying on our back, okay? With your knees bent and your feet flat, and place your hands on your belly. And all I want you to do to begin with is try and notice the tension in your body, right? Like a lot of my day is spent just like going, oh, this caused me tension, I'm going to let that go, that caused me tension, I'm going to let that go. So without lifting your head off the floor, but take some of the weight out of your head, resting on the floor. So just lift it ever so slightly. So it's not off the floor, still you can still feel the floor underneath it, but not the full weight down. And just notice how that feels in your neck and your shoulders, even your belly. And then let your head rest again. Notice how your shoulders soften, your face softens. And actually that's kind of how we go through our day, right? Like some days if we're busy and we don't notice, we've got this tension and resistance in our body. So let's try the same thing with our feet. Hello, Thompson. So we'll let your feet just stay connected to the floor, but take the weight out of them slightly. So you're lifting them slightly up, and notice the tension in your belly, the tension in your lower back. And then let your feet relax again, let your head relax again. Now imagine you're going through your day with a huge amount of tension, okay? Then let your hands rest by your sides. I'm going to come up, just so, there's Thompson doing his upward dog. And slowly as you inhale, take your arms up and over your head. So your hands are resting by your side, you're lying on your back. Okay, there's nothing to see with me. This is a practice we've done several times. And slowly and smoothly move your arms on the inhale. There's Thompson giving himself a shake. And as you exhale, slowly let them come back down by your sides. Okay. And repeat that 2 or 3 more times. So this is a general ground and connecting practice today. Once you've done that 2 or 3 times, let your arms rest by your sides. And start to work with your legs. Press your feet into the ground. Start to let your hips slowly come up and slowly down, okay? But as you lift the hips up, bring them towards the knees, okay? They're obviously not going to come to the knees unless you can break your femur and make yourself rubber, okay? But slowly coming up and down. Try and get a little bit higher if you want to work a bit more with your strength, okay? Sometimes that's nice for your hips and your lower back. And then from there, whenever you're ready, do all 3 things together. So as you inhale, your arms come up and over, your hips rise, and your breath is obviously coming in. And then as you exhale, you take your arms slowly up and over and down, your hips slowly go down, and your breath leaves your body, okay? And repeat that 2 or 3 more times. Good. And whenever you finish, hug your knees up towards your chest. Into Apanasana, massage your back against the floor. Nice. when I'm not actually doing it physically, I'm picturing myself doing it. And there's actually value in movement to picture yourself and imagine yourself making that movement if it's a movement that you can't do, okay? Or that you are too tired to do. Even just like imagine yourself doing it. And then gently hug your knees towards your chest and roll out towards the side. And then slowly bring yourself to a seated position from your lying on your side position, and bring your fingers in front of your shins. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, slowly drift forward. Maybe let your elbows come down on the floor. Maybe your head come down towards the floor. And then slowly come back up. Take your hands behind you, squeeze your shoulder blades together, elevate your chest. And then bring your left hand towards your right knee and turn here. Gently release that and turn the other way. Try that one more time either way. So staying tall and turning and looking. And staying tall and turning and looking. Come back towards the centre. Let your left hand rest on the floor. Inhale, reach up a little bit through your right hand. And exhale, come over. Inhale up through the other hand. A little bit higher than you think you can. And exhale, come over. Try that one more time either side. I do this every day, you know, so it's a real, and especially the days, there might be days where you just don't realise that you're holding tension and resistance, and you're just trying to continually soften that. So give your shoulders a roll, shrug them up and forwards and back and down, okay? Up and forwards and backwards down, and then the opposite, backwards, up, forward and down, okay? Good. And then shake them off. Get nice and loose. Bring yourself to an all fours position, where your hands are forward, your knees are towards the middle, and gently just walk from side to side. Walk. Your hands from side to side, your knees from side to side, and then make some cat and cow movements. Draw your belly away from the floor, and then let your belly come down towards the floor and look forward. And go between these two movements. Cat posture, cow posture. Okay. And then walk your hands forward, okay? And we don't do this very often, but let your hips kind of open forward. So you're not slumping your hips down and shrugging your shoulders. You're keeping everything quite strong through your arms, long through your spine, and it's like you're opening your hip flexors at the front of your hips, okay? So you're not slumping into your lower back. It's not super good for your lower back, okay? So it's like you're trying to get your hips forward towards your hands a little bit and opening up here. And this is kind of cobra posture, if it has a name at all, okay? And then take your knees wide, bring your hips all the way back towards your heels. And then let yourself come forward again and open up towards the front. Okay, not too low with the hips. And then tuck your toes, let your hips go back towards your heels and open it up into downward dog. Now you might change the position of your hands as you do this and gently pedal this out. Then let your knees come down, walk your hands a little bit further forward, let your hips go towards the heels of your hands, and then let your hips go towards your actual heels. Tuck your toes, open up into downward facing dog. See how that feels today. Pedaling out, pedaling out. And then reach back with your left foot and let your left foot come forward outside your left hand. Okay. If that felt a bit tricky, try it again, just like, try it again actually. It's nice to repeat our movement. So take your left leg back and forward outside your left hand. Let both hips sink a little closer to the floor and then make your tent movement. So lift your hips up. Let your hips come down, then turn to your left leg and then heel up with your left hand. Exhale, let it come down. Okay, try that one more time. Inhale up with your left hand. And exhale, let it come down. Let your back knee come down. And we're going to try a little movement that we've done before, but not from inside the foot. Usually we're framing the foot. Walk your hands back and slip all the way onto your back heel. And give your foot a wee shake off from side to side. Slow breaths in, slow breaths out. Let your body settle. Remember, give yourself cushions or whatever you need to make this work for you. Okay? Come forward, hands inside, and slide your left leg back. Move your hips from side to side, your shoulders from side to side, and go through this same movement we did a moment ago again. So hips forward, chest up. Okay, not too low with your hips. It's really, I don't want you, it's just so we don't compress our lower back too much. Tuck your toes, hips back toward your heels, maybe your hands come back a bit, and we open up into down dog. And we pedal, pedal, pedal. Slowly in, slowly out. Let your knees come back down, maybe hands go forward a bit, and again open up. It's like you're opening up through the front line of your body like we've spoke about earlier in the month. And then take your knees wide, touch your big toes together, and sink your hips towards your heels. Lift your head, lift your elbows, walk your hands back towards your knees, let your hips rest on your heels, and settle into this position here. See how you're feeling today, okay? And then come forward, tuck underneath your toes, float your hips back to your heels, heels back and down into downward dog, reaching back with your right foot, and like we did on the other side, we'll do it twice. Bring your right foot forward, okay? Try it again, right leg going back, right foot going forward, and then make your tent shape and your hammock shape. Your tent shape and your hammock shape. Turn to your right leg and then he'll open up with your right hand. And exhale down. Okay, try that one more time. And he'll open it up. And exhale, let it come down. Let your back knee come down. Let your front leg go back. Take both knees a bit wider. Touch your big toes together and walk back to a kneeling position where your knees are wide this time and your toes are pointing out behind. Good. And then we're going to bring our hands forward, tuck our toes, lift our knees up and come to a squat position. Place your elbows on your knees and let your knees go from side to side. Good. Put one hand inside one foot and then he'll open up to the other side. Exhale, let it come down. Inhale this side. Exhale, let it come down. One more time either side. Inhale, going long, reach in. Exhale, down. Inhale, going long, reach in. And exhale, down. Okay. So you can keep your toes tucked under, maybe even a wee bit closer together, and let your knees lower to the floor. So you can use your hands, or if you've started to develop this skill where you can let your knees slowly come down, let your knees slowly come down, and let your hips rest on your heels with your toes tucked under here. Okay, see how that feels? And then hips up, toes pointing behind, and letting your hips rest on your heels. See if you can, if you're starting to develop this mobility in your body, to come to a cross-leg position from here. Okay, and could you get back to the position we were just in without using your hands too much? So our toes tucked under, our knees in the ground. Okay, can you get the cross-leg position going the opposite way? And then take your feet together, let your knees stay wide. Reach for somewhere around your ankle or your foot. We can hold the outside edge of our foot. We can hold our big toes. We can hold around the ankles. And see if you can lift your feet up off the floor. Holding here, or holding here, holding your toes, and then extend out through one leg. Bring it back in. Extend out through the other leg. Bring it back in. And then out through both feet if you can. Taking slow breaths here. And bring it back towards the centre. Let's even go out one more time. Good. And then back in. Cross your legs, shake them up and down. Give your wrists a wee shake. Clasp your hands toward your chest, take an inhale. Exhale, let your fingers go forward. Push your palms out, tuck your chin in. Inhale, lift your arms all the way up over your head. And exhale, clasp your hands behind your back. Draw your fingers towards the floor. And as you exhale, take your fingers away from your lower back. Try and keep your head from going forward and your chin from going forward. Try and keep everything up. And then let it come down. Shake off through your wrists, your forearms, your elbows, your upper arms, your shoulders. Clasp your hands together again. Okay. Take an inhale, sit a little bit taller. I'm going to face this way, towards Thompson. Exhale, let your fingers go forward. Push your palms out, tuck your chin in. Inhale, lift your hands all the way up over your head. And as you exhale, release your hands behind your back. Clasp your hands. Draw your fingers towards the floor. Take an inhale. And exhale. Bring them away. And let them come down. Shake them off. Get loose. Roll your shoulders. Okay. And then come to your seated position. We don't need much, like we a little maintenance each day. It's a bit like your car, like if you get it serviced regularly and you look after it and check the oil and check the water and check the screen wash, you're much more likely to not have issues. So we need to do a little each day. I made an analogy to a class once about a car, and they said, "Are you calling us old bangers?" And I was like, "No." Well, no, of course not. Classics, classic cars, okay. So we'll let your classic car settle. And one of the things that we can do to see if our breath is smooth and relaxed is make a humming sound, okay? Not on the inhale. It's quite tricky on the inhale to make any sound. It's more of a squawk than a sound that we make if we make sound on the inhale. But on the exhale, gently hum, okay? A gentle sound. So take your inhale. Now the smoother and calmer that is, the smoother and more consistent and stable our breath is, okay? So try that again a couple times. Now if you're finding that your breath is more like then we have something to work with there, right? So try and let your breath be smooth. And then if you have time today, bring yourself to a lying position, resting on your back. And really try and make sure that you're not lifting anything from the ground that you don't need, okay? So remember when we did that practice at the start where we slightly lifted our head and felt the tension in our body? Are you doing that in any way, even the tiniest fraction of a way? Can you let go more and more? Can you soften into the ground more and more and more? Let every part of your body rest, relax, let go. Now please stay here as long as you have the freedom to today. And whenever you're ready, if you're time limited today, you can come to a seated position. But if you're not time limited, stay resting on the ground. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day, Sangha, our community that is connected and communicating and supporting. Be kind to yourself, please, and please be kind to whoever else comes in your path today.